Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. It's your boy, Jim Hacking, and I am here with our entire marketing team and the head of our client coordinators. It's great to be with you all. The marketing team has joined us today. This is episode number 222 of the Immigration Answer Show. Deuces are wild. We got a wonderful show. We're going to get to the questions in a little bit. We've got a special treat for you. Last Wednesday, a week ago, we went over 50,000 subscribers. So I wanted to bring on the marketing team to let you all meet everyone on the marketing team. And then we have a special video to commemorate the 50,000 subscribers. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our director of sales and marketing, and then I'll let her introduce the rest of the team. So our director of sales and marketing is Maria Jose Acevedo, also known as Majo, also known as Majito. Majo, welcome to the show. I'm glad. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, the marketing team is nervous about being on camera, which just makes me laugh because we're on camera all day long talking to each other. And to me, this is just another call. So we're going to get to the questions and all of our usual stuff here in a minute. But Majo, why don't you go ahead and introduce everybody?
Of course. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, everybody. I'm Majo. Well, I'm Maria Jose, but you can call me Majo, and Majito is like little Majo in Spanish. So, yes, I'm excited. I'm the director of marketing and sales, and currently living in Argentina, but I'm from Venezuela. So, as you can see, we have a multicultural team here, and well, I'm so excited to be here and nervous at the same time. So yes, I'm so happy to be here. I wanted to introduce you to the content manager. So go ahead, G.
Hi, well, my name is Geraldine. I start working with this amazing team this year, so I'm very happy because of that. As Majo said, I'm the content manager. So with Susie, we're creating the content and designing all the content you see in social media. So we have a lot of fun doing that, especially because Jim is, like very the start. So we can, be creative with him. And what else can I say? Well, I live in Argentina too, and I'm from Venezuela as well. And now I'm going to leave you with Susie, my best partner in the team.
Hi guys, thank you, G. I work very closely with G. I am in charge of like the social media comments. So if you guys are messaging us, you'll probably get a response from me. And I'm just so happy to be here. This is a great team. And it's crazy to see how much the firm has like grown and how much we're growing even on social media. And I think it's really cool that we hit 50K. Like Jim really deserves it, and he's a very genuine person. So I just want to say, like, I feel very lucky to be a part of this team.
Awesome, Susie. Thanks. Amra, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Amra. I work very closely with Jim as I'm his assistant, and I also get the luxury of being able to work with the marketing team because he works with the marketing. So I help with marketing tasks and being able to help with whatever they need, and also making sure Jim has his life together.
Thanks, Amra. And then last up is our good friend Justin Maldonado. You guys have noticed the improvement of our videos over the last month and a half or so. No longer is Jim sort of in dark shadow or looking over the top of the screen or having pop, pop, pop weird sounds. Justin spends a lot of time making me look pretty, which takes a lot of work.
Jim, keep me humble, please.
Yeah. Justin, go ahead and talk a little bit about your job, and then why don't you go ahead and I'm going to let everybody go so that we can fill up the waiting room after Justin introduces our special video for you. Thank you, everyone on the marketing team. You're doing a great job. We love having you. And I think we're going to have to start doing this with all the teams and pods. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll hate it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
I have a specific
You guys
pod
like
in
the
mind.
idea. You send us the ideas and we do it. That's why you guys are in marketing.
Yep. Justin, you said you have a specific pod in mind.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Awesome. Good.
offline though.
Good. All right. Well, go ahead and tell
They'll
everyone about the
sue me
video.
If I tell you on video. Yeah. So I'm Justin. I work here in the St. Louis office as an in-house videographer and editor. So I've been here since May. The new stuff. I do like being behind the camera instead of on it. But this is fun. This is a cool new experience. Grateful for Jim pushing boundaries and comfort zone. So that's cool. Yeah, we just the video, we got a little mashup for you guys. So my screen's starting to freak out a little bit because we're getting notifications.
What if my I-751 gets denied? What is one dumb mistake people make when applying for their green card? When does USCIS come knocking on your door? What are 5 hacks that you can use to get through the immigration process without losing your mind?
What is lawful permanent resident status?
Hey everybody, it's immigration lawyer Jim Hacking. We're just celebrating the fact that we went over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a testament to all the great subscribers that we have, all the wonderful people we have in our immigrant community, and we're so happy. We love making our videos. We love creating content for the immigrant community, and we're really excited to see where things head as we go towards 100,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. All right, everybody, so this is the Immigration Answers Show. Let's get started, and our first guest today will be Franklin. What do you say, Franklin?
Hey, Jim, good morning.
Hi, thank you for picking me first. I'm a big fan, Jim.
Romel is here. What's up, Romel?
Everything fine. I was getting jealous because Julie was here and it wasn't.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for bringing me up.
Sure.
Questions.
I've been following you for a long period of time, and this is my first time.
Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. So you came on a student visa and you got married within 90 days?
Like after 90 days.
Did you know your spouse before you came to the United States?
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm out.
You know, I feel really comfortable with you guys. That's why I called you back, because I did call another attorney. How long should I wait? I mean, you get that
When did
question.
you file?
August 31st of 2020.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any reason to wait. You can go ahead and sue.
Who should I contact in your office?
Yeah. Just call and ask for Daniel, 314-961-8200. Just say, I need to talk to Daniel. I was on the show today, and they'll put you through after this show.
Daniel, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Mo. Thanks for coming on.
See you, buddy. Is that okay, Daniel, if I tell people to call for you?
Yeah, that's great.
So you filed an I-130, an I-130A, an I-45, a 765, and a 131?
Yeah, we have
awesome.
filed
and
all of them. Yeah.
And you're waiting on the receipt notices, so you probably get the receipt notices in about 2 weeks. And did you file your 751 with a lawyer or by yourself?
Not a lawyer, but some people file taxes. So
that's not good.
We received an email from them saying to come to the document center to pick up your information. But instead of the visa, it was a DS-5535 form, supplemental question. Right, supplemental questions. His still says issued, but his son says refused. I don't understand.
The fact that your husband's case says issued and the child says refused is proof of a point that I make all the time, which is what it says on the online portal doesn't matter because it's usually wrong. And here it's clearly wrong. They're not done processing either case. One says issued, one says refused. That just shows you how dumb they are.
What is the course of action to ask for expedite from my application?
There isn't one. Everybody who has an I-730 wants their family members to come here as quickly as possible. You're just waiting, brother. I hope I'm wrong, Bossum. Call me back and say, Jim, you are a dumbass. I'm the 1 out of 1,000 that got it done. I hope you do, brother. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at them. I'm not mad at you at all.
Thank you, Jim. Always appreciate your input.
Bye, Bossum.
Thank you,
Bossum.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically, would I be out of line?
I really like the way Eloisa strategically uses the word hypothetically. Everyone, when talking to their lawyer, should always use the word hypothetically because then you're not bound by it. But let's talk this through because this is a great question and this is a scenario that we see all of the time.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you. It's just
Nice
like the
to meet
YouTube
you.
show.
Thanks, Eloisa. Good luck. Thanks for watching. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thanks to Justin and the marketing team. Somebody said, hey, there's advertisements going on. I guess that's sort of an advertisement. That's just more an advertisement for the show. But we're going to get right to it. Let us know what you think about the video. I think Justin did a great job on it. And we love our marketing team. They're just rocking and rolling. I don't know if you guys know this, but last week we signed up 29 cases, which was a record for us. So the marketing team is, as they say, kicking ass. All right. Let's say hi to Shiraz.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Shiraz.
Hi, sir. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. Sir, my situation is kind of different. Like I came to United States on a B1, B2 visa, visit visa with my wife. And we both get this visa. And now we overstayed on that visa. And we got a baby here too. So like, I just want to get some guidance. Like, what is the possibility for me right now? Like, I already got delayed, like for applying for some kind of status or something. So is there any possibility we can sort out this problem? Or
there's lots of problems. When did you enter the United States?
It was like last February 2021.
February of when was the baby born?
She was born like 8 months ago in November 21.
Okay, so your wife was sort of barely pregnant when you entered the United States.
No, she got pregnant here. Like after a week, when we were here, yeah, like it was
okay.
Surprise.
So why didn't you leave after 6 months?
Because she was pregnant and her situation was like not. When we got into here, so she got pregnant. And all 6 months we spent here, and she was like 6-7 months pregnant that time. So then we decided to stay here.
Well, why didn't you leave?
That we stayed here for like, that was the Corona time, something happening in 2021, something like we were unable to move, something like that.
I don't think immigration is going to have much sympathy for this. Did you file for an extension?
No.
Why?
Because I didn't do anything like this kind of things, and now I'm stuck in. Because I wanted to apply for some status here, like, but I didn't have any guidance, and I was looking for something in my situation because I was in between something as I lost my right leg as well. Like I was in between something like medication, and I was getting treatment for that.
In America?
So, no, it was out, but then like when I lost it, then I recently, after that I came here and I was getting treatment here from America. Yeah, from John Hopkins.
So why didn't you file an I-539 for extension of status and attach the medical records and say, hey, I'm getting treatment for my leg. My wife's getting treatment for her baby. It's not safe for us to go. Coronavirus. Here's my medical records. Here's my wife's medical records. Please allow us to stay. Why didn't you do that?
Yeah, I missed that to submit like that chance.
But you knew when you entered that they stamped it. There was a date that you were supposed to leave by, right?
Right.
And what was the date you were supposed to leave by?
So it was August 2026, August 26
of 2021.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we're coming up on 1 year. So right now, if you left today to go to Canada,
right, sir,
or to go to Mexico or to go back to your home country, you would not be able to come back to the United States for 3 years.
Yes, sir.
If you stay past August 26, 2022, you're then going to have a 10-year bar. So you need to go home.
Okay, so we don't have any option like here to apply for any status or something, like there is any option?
The only one that you could apply for is asylum. If you fear going back to your home country, if you're going to be persecuted back in your home country.
That's why our country, sir, like we had issues there in my country, but.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what we had issues in our country, sir. That's why, like after getting married, I left from my country. So that was the issue. I left my country.
Okay, so there's a rule that you have to apply for asylum within 1 year of arrival. And now you're past that 1 year. You've really not done a very good job of paying attention to your immigration status.
Right.
So what would be your explanation as to why you didn't apply for asylum within 1 year?
My medical conditions, and like my wife also got pregnant, and that was also the first experience for me, like all these situations mixed up, and I didn't know like what to do and what not to do, leave or stay in hospital, everything mixed up with me.
What was the purpose of your visit to the United States?
for this treatment of my right leg for the.
So you really had a lot of things going for you, and you basically threw them all in the trash. Right now, you don't have much. You could apply for asylum. That asylum application would be late. You could try to say it was because of your leg and because of your wife's medical condition, but they usually don't like it when people come to America and have a baby. And one of the things for sure they're going to want to know is whether or not you paid all the medical bills related to your wife's hospital stay.
Okay, so do you want me to clear, like there were some dues I think so remaining? They were sending me a mail. So if I clear all these bills and everything, like my bills are clear, but for them, so if I clear all this, so still I can apply for any status, like for the asylum, like if I'm still late like 1 year or something, so still I can apply with all these.
You can apply for asylum, but as people will tell you after watching this show, there have been letters coming where they're trying to get rid of cases that weren't filed within 1 year. So I think that's a very big problem for you. Okay. You can try it, but it's way late.
Okay, so if I come to your organization, is there any way like you can find out?
We can look at it. I don't know. Definitely call the office and ask to talk to Paul. He's one of our attorneys. Ask to talk to Paul and tell him your situation. Tell him you were on the show. Tell him you were the first caller on today's show, and he'll talk to you about it. But he might turn it down. He might say, I don't think you. I mean, it's going to be your decision. It's going to be your decision. Do you want to spend the money and see if it works?
I go ahead for like if there is some solution for it. So of course I'll go.
There were solutions, but you basically threw a lot of the solutions in the trash by not doing anything. You've really made it much harder for us to win the case than it would have been if you had done this right when you arrived.
But certainly all these medical conditions and situation is not going to help us. Like if we go for it, like from the office and anything, like we find some.
Here's the thing, Shiraz. The government expects you to be able to do two things at once.
Yes, sir.
So filling out an I-539 to extend your status, that would have taken, a lawyer would have charged you $1,500 for that. It would have taken an hour's worth of work. You could have done it yourself probably in about 3 hours. You didn't do that. So in their mind, you're not following the rules. You didn't leave on time. You didn't file for an extension. You filed for asylum late. You haven't paid your wife's medical bills for the baby. So they don't like any of those things. And I'll say this too. My wife is from Egypt. Most of my clients are from predominantly Muslim countries. They don't like giving immigration benefits to men named Shiraz Shah. They just don't. So you're already starting from way behind, and you've made it 10 times harder than it needed to be. So I think if you call the office and talk to Paul, Paul's going to say something like, Shiraz, you really made this hard. I think you could file for asylum and spend $6,500, $7,500 on your asylum application, and I think you got a 10% chance of winning. That's if I'm calling it right now. I don't think they're going to care much about your leg or about the baby. They're going to think that was all on you and that you didn't follow the rules. And I think it's a tough case.
All right. Okay. So I will try my luck. So let's see. We will see.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, Shiraz.
Have a good day.
Bye, buddy. I have a video out there on the YouTube channel. It's basically, hey, you're responsible for your own immigration status. Even if you have a lawyer, you're always responsible for your own immigration status. You got to keep track of everything that's going on in your case. And ultimately, it's your responsibility. All right, let's say hi to Luca. Hi, Luca.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Great. How are you doing, bud?
Good. Thank you. Happy 222nd show, and
thanks.
This new marketing team.
Thanks,
I've been following you, and I appreciate all the videos that you post. And
awesome.
I guess I'm not coming today with like any specific particular question, just something that has been bothering me. So I came here on a student visa like 2 years ago. I fell in love and we got married. Like it's been around like 6 months since we got married to a man. So I'm a gay man.
Sure.
But a little concern that I have is, with Roe v. Wade overturning and, Justice Thomas saying something like, okay, we have to review like the previous rulings about same-sex marriage and so on. Like, I'm kind of like concerned that, I can just wake up one day and not be able to file. And I feel like that could cause, if that were to happen, it would cause a lot of problems. So I was just wanting to see what your take on that was and if I should be worried or if I should act fast or something.
Well, first of all, congratulations on falling in love and getting married. That's great. I'm happy for you. Number two, it's interesting, Luca, the very first call on this show, the day after the Roe case got reversed and people were worried about that concurring opinion from Thomas, which I think actually was in the leaked version. So it's been a while. So my same-sex clients have been the most concerned, and rightly so, about all this. And now you have people like Ted Cruz saying that they're going to, try to pass some legislation sort of similar to the Defense of Marriage Act, trying to put it back on to make it illegal for USCIS or for any federal agency to consider same-sex marriages as legally valid. So I shot a video or this show the next day, and I talked for 20 minutes. So you might try to find that one, but in summation, here's what I think. If I were in a same-sex relationship and I were already legally married and I wanted to get a green card and I hadn't already applied for that green card, I would apply tomorrow. I don't think anything is going to change anytime soon. Here's why. I think that as long as Biden's president, everybody's going to be okay. I think that the law of the land right now, it won't be until the Supreme Court actually hears the case and takes the case and reverses the case that the USCIS will be able to continue processing these applications. So I think that as long as Biden's in office, or as long as a Democrat's in office, so if he doesn't run again or if he runs again or whatever, so that gives us 2 years, right? So I think that once you have the green card, you're in a much better shape for the rest of your immigration experience. I think it's going to be really hard to undo this stuff. And, I'm always a proponent of getting whatever immigration benefit you can as early as you can. Mm-hmm. So if you've been married for a couple months, I would think about getting this thing on file. And if anybody ever says to you, hey, why'd you file so fast? You can say, because I'm worried about assholes like Ted Cruz and Clarence Thomas taking away my right to get married. So I know that's probably, it's certainly not fair, but I know it's probably also not what you want to hear, that you have to live your life by the dictates of these terrible politicians. But I mean, at the same time, we got to be practical and try to protect you as much as we can.
Yeah. And, I've been thinking about some hypotheticals, like what would happen to people who have applied and then suddenly that happens, or people who get their green card and suddenly that is overturned, or people who become citizens and it's overturned.
Yeah, it'd be really hard to take away citizenship. I think it'd be almost as hard to take away green cards. I think that there's due process issues involved that once you've started on it, I think that there'll be lots of litigation once they try this. Obviously, you don't want to be involved in the middle of that, right? You just want to get your peace of mind and be able to stay. So I think that anybody who has an initial green card should be okay moving forward. But who knows?
Yeah. All right. So file tomorrow.
File yesterday.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Good luck, Luca. Thanks for the call, man. That was a good question.
Yes. Thank you.
You got it. It's sad, my friends, that we have to worry about stuff like this because 9 unelected fools in robes get to declare what our laws are. And then we have the Republican Party finding some group to hate every month and vilifying them and coming after them. So it's coming. They're going to pass state laws and they're going to pass federal laws to outlaw same-sex marriage. They're feeling emboldened by these fundamentalist Christians on the Supreme Court. And it's certainly upsetting. Let's say hi to Dilip. Hi, Dilip.
Hi, Jim.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Congratulations on your 50K. Well, I'm in India. Actually, I have applied for F1 visa back in December 2021. And that, I guess, that get removed after 30 days, right? But I have set my appointment for 4th of August. And right now I don't want to go for studies. So my question is, if I cancel that appointment, will that affect my future applications like B1, B2, or any other?
Probably not. Probably not.
No.
No, I mean, everything's fair game. Everything's something that they could ask you about, but just you thought you were going to go to school and then you decided against it, and then just be quiet. I don't think it's a big deal.
All right. Okay, that was my question.
Easy. Thanks, Dilip. See you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Renita. Renita, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Jim.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Yeah, just wanted to tell you that we appreciate all your videos. I've been following it for a while, and really
Awesome.
good content. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I had a question about K1 visa. My fiance lives in the States, and we started dating November last year, and we applied for K1 around January 31st. Like that's when we filed for the K1 for 2022. So we were just wondering because we looked up certain information and it said that if you have a short relationship before filing for K1, sometimes that can cause like a problem.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
how much like of a problem do you think like this will cause us with our case?
Yeah, what embassy will you have your K1 interview at?
I will have it at Montreal in Canada.
Okay, so why? I mean, I think the question that they'll ask, or that they would ask someone in your situation, is why the hurry?
Okay. Okay, so that's something that we probably want to prepare an answer for.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one answer, of course, is always that we wanted to be together as fast as possible, and we know how slow you guys are, so we decided.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'll tell you, 60 days. I mean, first of all, I'm really down on fiance visas lately. I don't know if you've heard me on here, but there's a lot of problems with fiance visas. One is that they're sort of at the bottom of the food chain. They're the last things that the embassies are really dealing with. Number two, I need to make a video about this, but the Biden administration has chosen some strange ways to fix the immigration backlog, and to the detriment of applicants. And what I mean by that is they've started finding weird ways to clear cases. And one of those ways is to treat fiance I-129F approvals, the K1 approval by USCIS, as really having this expiration date. It's always been there, but the embassies have always been free to extend it. Well, they decided that maybe we just won't extend it, and then these cases will just have to start over. So that's one reason I don't like the fiance. The other one, and you might think about, especially with such a short history, you might think about building up more evidence and more of a history, because now from November you have 8 or 9 months of history. You might, especially since it's Canada, you might have your fiance come to Canada, withdraw the K1, get married, and start over. That's what I would do.
Oh, okay.
I think a 60-day fiance case is really going to have problems. I think one, USCIS. I know for a fact that USCIS is sending out more requests for evidence on these and denying them because they don't like how short it was. But even if you get it approved, that could take a year to get it approved, and then the embassy doesn't like it, and then you're sort of starting over. So I'm really pushing people to do the marriage route instead of the fiance, just because we have more leverage and more power when it's an actual marriage, and it's higher up the food chain than fiance cases.
Yeah, that's exactly another thing that we were considering, is for us to get married. But if we do get married here, like, we would want him to like stay here for a bit, like temporarily, so that we're not separated. So just wondering like how that would affect then the CR1.
That's okay, as long as he's maintained a residency in the United States, as long as he hasn't abandoned all of his property and quit his job and given away all of his worldly possessions to strangers. It should be fine. There's always the other possibility as a Canadian that if hypothetically you came to the United States and you were visiting on your Canadian passport, and you said to yourself after 2 months of being here, boy, it sure is nice being here with my fiance, and that fiance case that we filed sure is taking a long time. Maybe we should just go ahead and get married in the United States and then file for an I-130.
Okay. Yeah, that was another route that like the adjustment of status, right? Or no?
Yeah, exactly. Now the one thing is
Yeah.
you can't intend when you enter to do that. But if you came to America and decided to do that, that's a different ballgame. But if you came dragging your wedding dress and all of your household items across the border, they'd probably not let you in. But if you decided when you were here, after seeing how things are and realizing how much it sucks being separated and how it's going to be another year and a half before you get an embassy interview in Montreal, then who's going to blame you?
Yeah, that's true. So about the financial part of like if he moves here, like how important is it for him to make money like there in the States? Because he works for himself and he will have to like leave his business there for a bit and then come here and find some work here because he does HVAC.
So he's going to need 3 years of good earning history. Otherwise, he's going to need a co-sponsor. So even if he moves to Canada, he's still going to have to file a tax return for 2022. And if he's living in Canada and self-employed, he might not be making enough. So you guys should really be thinking about who's going to be the co-sponsor.
Okay, so we do have someone for the co-sponsor. So if we do have like a co-sponsor, it's still okay. Like the case is still
Yeah. Oh,
it's
sure.
fine.
Yeah, they approve.
Yeah.
Especially, they know young people of a marrying age often don't have a long earning history. So having
Yeah.
co-sponsors is sort of a regular thing.
Okay. So so like moving here and temporarily getting married, living here and then applying for the CR1 still has better chances like compared to for our case for the K1.
A 60-day fiance I-129F, I think, has problems, like I said, both at USCIS, but then even if he gets approved, you have problems at the embassy. Montreal can be sort of hard asses, and I could see
Yeah.
them saying, yeah, we don't believe this one.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your
Sure thing.
answers. Hope you have
Thanks,
a good
Renita.
day.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
You too.
See ya. All right, let's say hi to Jaggi. Hi, Jaggi.
Hello.
How are
How are
you?
you?
I'm great.
Sir, I have a question. It's a little complicated case. I work for the U.S. Army, and I'm up for deployment to Iraq in December of 2022. So I'm applying on the basis of INA 329, but there's a problem that so I married an American citizen in 2016, and USCIS accused me of marriage fraud.
Yep.
But I joined Army last year using a green card, a passport stamp that I got from my dad because I was a beneficiary on his previous marriage, which ended before he could remove his I-751. So my question is there going to be a problem now with the
Yes.
interview?
Yes, that's going to be a problem. So basically, you're telling me that you had conditional residence without the conditions ever being removed. That's number one. Then
From
you
my
had
father.
through your father. Then you had a marriage that an I-130 and 45 was filed for you, and the conclusion of USCIS was that it was not a real marriage and that it was marriage fraud.
Correct.
And then you were somehow able to join the Army
using my father's I-551 stamp because my dad, he never removed his conditions.
So
and
that sounds like some Army BS that they did a workaround to make their numbers. I think you're in a world of immigration trouble.
Okay.
I mean, if you get accused of immigration fraud and you don't fix that, that prohibits you from getting any immigration benefit, including naturalization through the Army, for the rest of your life.
And that is 240C bar.
I don't know. People calling me and quizzing me on the INA provisions. I don't know. I just know the principles. I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because
basically you have a bar. You probably have a bar. I mean, we'd have to look at the denial notice, but if that was never appealed and that was left to stand, that they accused your spouse of marriage fraud, you and your spouse of marriage fraud, that's a huge deal.
Okay.
So no matter what the Army's trying by doing an end run around by using your dad's old conditional residence through your dad, I mean, that's just them willfully looking away from the law and doing what they want. That has nothing to do with immigration.
Sure. So the fact that I'm serving in a wartime and that that's still going to be a problem, you think?
I think they're not going to naturalize you. That's for sure.
Okay. Alrighty, sir. Thank you for your help.
Thanks for trying to help, and thanks for trying to help the country, Jaggy. See you, buddy.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. That doesn't sound good. Let's say hi to Sandra. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Jim. My question is regarding Mandamus lawsuits. So, to give you a quick background, I married my husband. He's Syrian, living in Erbil, Kurdistan. So he's assigned to Ankara, and me and hundreds of people are waiting on our spouses in the embassy of Ankara because they're kind of treating third country nationals differently than Turkish people.
That's for sure.
So we've been waiting 8 months since our documentarily qualified. So what are my options now? I don't want to quit. I don't want my husband and I to struggle financially when he moves because I'm his full sponsor. And so I was able to take like a 4-month leave and be with him, but that's about it. My work can't work with me, living overseas any longer. So what are my options right now?
When did USCIS approve the I-130?
In May 2021. So over a year.
So USCIS has had, the NBC and the State Department have had jurisdiction over the case for 14 months.
Yes.
Yeah. So they definitely, if there's the two countries that are high on their radar right now because they feel like they can't do full background checks are Yemen and Syria. So unfortunately, I think I think you have to wait until the end of the year. If you don't have anything by the end of the year, then we could sue them. I would not want to sue them right now just because I don't think this is the kind that I don't think would work because like you said, it's a third party or third country situation. It's Syria. State Department's only had the case for about 13 months. I think this is one where if I sued them, they would file a motion to dismiss, and that's what we don't want.
And if it gets to December, because right now from what I'm seeing with other Iraqis, because we're in the same line with Iraqis since he lives in Erbil, it looks like we need to wait 1 more year. Do you recommend us waiting it out?
It sounds
suing them?
It sounds about right. It depends if you're tired of waiting and you want to take a chance. The thing with lawsuits like this, I always tell people is I can't guarantee that it's going to work. I think it might work, but these overseas spouse cases in Ankara, we've had success in Ankara. We've had success with people from Iran and from Iraq, but I do think Syria and Yemen they treat them differently.
Okay. Does that sound right? Like 1.5 years from the DQ date from your experience? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That also, does it mean my husband will automatically go the administrative processing because he's Syrian for like months and months, or not necessarily?
I think so. I doubt he's going to get his visa on the day of the interview.
Okay. So it most likely will need to file a lawsuit eventually.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed, I probably need to do a video about this too. One thing I've noticed lately is that it seems that the motions to dismiss are coming more so when someone's never had their interview, because then they lose the argument that the person's waiting in line. Once they've had your interview, I think they have a lot less of a leg to stand on in arguing that they can't finish processing it. And I also think they're more inclined to just finish it up when there's already been an interview. They don't want to let people jump ahead of the line when they haven't had an interview. But it seems like lately what I've been noticing is that when we sue after an interview has been had, the lawsuits work better.
Okay. Have you heard of any Syrian person getting like a visa fairly quickly? Not necessarily on the day of, but like couple weeks after the interview.
I'm not the best person to ask that. I could ask the team, but I don't think so.
Okay. Perfect. And last question. What are the success rates for if we get into admin processing, because that's just going to delay further?
You mean success rates of the lawsuits or success rates of
getting him out of the unnecessary administrative processing that they put most serious?
Yeah, here's what I would say, that when we sue them, they file lawsuits they file motions to dismiss in less than 1 out of 10 cases. So most cases get a decision within 3 or 4 months.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sandra. I hope you don't have to wait that long.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, Alam. What do you say, Alam?
Hello.
How are
Hi,
you?
Jim. I'm good. How are you?
What's up?
Jim, I have one question. So my employer is sponsoring me for EB3. My fiance is on asylum. So if I get married, can I add her in my EB3 case?
So that's tricky. First of all, what's the EB3 job?
I work in IT.
And is this a position that they're going to have, that the employers had a hard time filling? Have you done perm already?
Yes, it is in the process actually.
So here's the tricky part. When your fiance filed for asylum, were they in status when they filed for asylum, or were they out of status when they filed for asylum?
They came here on visit visa.
Right. And when you come on a visit visa, you have valid status for 6 months. So my question is, did they file for asylum before the 6 months or after?
I think it was after 6 months.
Yeah. So if it was after 6 months, that means that when they filed for asylum, they were out of status. And that means that the pending asylum case can't bridge her status up until marrying you and trying to get in on your green card. So I think most likely the answer to that question is no.
Okay.
The two things that have to be present in order for someone's long pending asylum case to serve as that bridge between being in status on B1, B2 and being in status as a green card holder through you, the two things that have to be present are, one, were they in status at the time that they filed? And two, was their case still pending at the USCIS asylum office? If it's been denied and sent to the immigration court, then that bridge doesn't work anymore either.
Okay. So is there any other option? Is there any other route we can take? Or
I mean, this is just you and me talking. I'd have to look everything over, but it doesn't sound good.
Okay. Got it.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Alam. See you, buddy. All right. Let's say hi to Taya. Hi, Taya.
Hey. Hi. I'm good. So I have 3 questions. I'm a F1 category, family preference.
Okay.
So my question is, if I'm on the first step, my case is pending still at the USCIS.
Okay.
So if I change my last name to a Japanese name because I'm from Japan, would that be a problem?
Why would you do that in the middle of the immigration process?
It was just a small situation with the family stuff.
Okay. From an immigration standpoint, that's not a good idea. You might have other life reasons to do it, but it's just going to screw things up immigration-wise.
Okay, understood. I won't do it. And 2 is, so I'm on a F1 category. So would that be a problem if I file for a student visa?
Well,
Instead.
Yeah, so you've demonstrated immigrant intent. You've said, I want to get a green card and come to the United States. I want to immigrate to the United States. I want to live in the United States the rest of my life. I want a green card. Think of that as a bell, right? Ding, ding, ding. So once you've rung that bell, you can't unring it. So there'll be a question on the DS-160 when you try to get your F1. Has anyone ever filed an immigrant visa petition for you? You'll have to say yes. I believe that once you say yes, the chances of you getting an F1 are very, very small.
Right. Okay, last question. So I have a family member, my aunt, who owns a business. Can she sponsor me under EB3, unskilled?
What's the position?
Just a regular bar.
So like bartender?
Yes.
Have you ever worked as a bartender?
I helped a few times when I was visiting.
Well, so that doesn't count because that was illegal. So you have so I think number 1, you don't have experience as a bartender. Number 2, they're going to have to prove that there aren't any Americans who can do the job of bartender, which I think is going to be tough to do. And 3, it's a family situation. So they're going to think this is just your aunt trying to help you out, not a legitimate employer-employment relationship.
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah, a family member trying to help another family member.
Yeah, they don't go for that.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well. Okay, I got my answer. So.
Thanks, Taya.
Thank you so much.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye. We're just flying through the questions today. We're at the 45-minute mark. This is the Immigration Answer Show, episode number 222. We're glad you all are joining us. We're at 250 people watching live, which I think is a first. We're going to go for another 15, 20 minutes. And then what day is today? Today's Wednesday, so we'll have a show tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. I think it's at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Yep, 3 p.m. Central. We'll be back. But we still have time for a few more calls. Let's go ahead and say hi to Lamar. Hi, Lamar.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing a great job helping the immigration community.
Sure.
John, Jim, I have question. So, I'm from Nigeria. I came as F1 student. So I apply in April 2020. So I had my interview November 2020. So the interviews lasted for 10 minutes.
What'd they ask you about?
So yeah, they ask, the regular question, have you ever committed this thing? Have you ever transported somebody? So after those questions, then he asks, have you ever been married? So I said no. So he printed the paperwork because when my wife, myself, and my lawyer were all together in a room. So the officer was in another room. So he asked, he came with the paper and he asked, do you know this person? You feel him as a wife in your application. So I believe it was a mistake because the person that helped me to do the immigration paperwork from Nigeria was an agent. So from there I explained to him. So he said, okay, after 2 weeks, you will receive intention to deny.
Okay,
So
Lamar, just real quick. So let me back up and make sure that I understand everything, okay? So you're from Nigeria and you
yes,
came to the United States on a visit visa or a student visa?
student visa.
A student visa. And you hired an agent, one of these people that hangs out around the embassy in Nigeria to help you get the student visa.
Yes, he has an office though.
Okay, whatever. And they filled out the DS-160 for you, and what the USCIS officer pulled out and presented to you at your green card, your marriage-based green card interview, after you said that you hadn't been married before, they pulled out the DS-160 and they said, "Look here, it says you're married to this person."
Yes,
And that was false. That was just some BS that the agent put on the form.
yes, sir.
And you
And
didn't know about that when you signed the DS-160.
no, at all.
Okay.
So so
So,
after that,
so the officer says, "All right, well, you're going to get a notice of intent to deny." Did they send that to you?
yes, he sent that. He sent the intent to deny with I
What did
want.
it say?
So he said because you stated that you that I need to prove with all the documents. So my lawyer asked me to call home. I called home. I called family. I called my mom. So they gather a lot of documents with the name of that person that they the name, the last name, and his name, and his picture, his family, his husband, his children, their school, everything. They send everything. We send it to the immigration. Then after 2 months, they send another intent to deny for I-485. So my lawyer, so the
Okay,
intent to
wait, hold
deny,
on. I just want to make sure I understand, okay? So they send you notice of intent to deny, and they said, basically, we want you to prove to us. I'm just going to say this person's name is Mary, okay? We want Lamar, we want you to approve that you were never married to Mary. And so you had people back in Nigeria track Mary down and develop evidence that you and Mary were never married. In fact, Mary's married to this other guy named Joe, and you submitted all that in response to the notice of intent to deny. Did they then approve the I-130, or is the I-130 still pending?
yes, they approved the I-130 immediately.
So
So they
now they say you have a misrepresentation and you need a waiver.
misrepresentation that I need a waiver. So the
Yeah.
lawyer now charged me $4,000. So after
Okay.
she charged $4,000 for the waiver, she said she have to do a lot of paperwork. But later on, she submitted the document. Then the I-485 got denied. So
What, what did you submit?
so it was when I received the deny notice that I called her. Then the deny notice stated that because you didn't file the waiver, you are not eligible. So I was like, Mom, I paid you $4,000 for the waiver. She said, No, I just have to argue it because I believe we don't have to file a waiver. So after that,
Wait, hold on, Lamar. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Okay. So did you have a contract with the lawyer that said they were going to file a 601 waiver for you?
Yes.
And then she didn't do that?
She didn't do it. But after the deny, she now did it. We filed
After
a
it was
waiver.
denied, what'd you say, Lamar? After it was denied, she did it?
Yes, after the deny, we submitted it on the August 2nd, 2021.
Yeah.
After we submitted it, she asked me, should we do a new I-485? So I went online. I called some other lawyers because it was during the COVID-19. Nobody was really open. I should do appeal. It takes only 45 days. So
A motion to reopen, you mean?
yeah. So we
So
do the
so the 485 didn't get denied on the merits. It just got denied because you failed to respond to the second NOID.
yes.
The
So
45 NOID.
yes.
Got
So
it.
we now filed the motion to reopen. We filed the waiver. So she didn't take any money. The lawyer didn't charge any
Yeah, I
money.
bet she didn't.
She didn't charge any money. So
Yeah.
she sent it, and to date, it's still on pending. So that's why I'm calling to see if you can help me.
So she filed the NOID after it was already denied.
Yes.
Did she also file a motion to reopen or no?
Yeah, she filed a motion to reopen and to reconsider.
And did she include the waiver in that motion
Yeah,
as well?
she included the the waiver. Now when I called them February about 4 months ago. I called them February. So I asked them to expedite the waiver. On the status right now, he said the waiver has been approved. The expedite something has been approved.
The expedite has been approved, not the waiver.
Yes, not the waiver.
So here's a question for you, Lamar. When the lawyer filed, did the same lawyer file the motion to reopen and the waiver?
Yes, the same lawyer.
And when they filed the motion to reopen, did they blame themselves for not having filed the waiver in the first place?
No, I don't think so.
So I think that was to your detriment because let's just say that you had hired a different lawyer. If you hired a different lawyer, that lawyer would probably throw your old lawyer under the bus and say, "Hey, Lamar had this agreement, this contract they were supposed to file." I mean, are you telling me, Lamar, that you didn't know that they didn't file a waiver for you until after the deadline for filing the waiver?
Yeah, I didn't know that she didn't file the waiver because she charged me, even though I didn't have the $4,000 in cash. I have to. She said I should write a date when I'm going to send it, in a payment plan. So I sent an email. I still have the email. So I believe she took the blame. That's why she didn't charge me for the to reopen. She
Yeah.
didn't charge for the waiver, but it was after this, it was already
Here's a
denied.
good question. Who paid the filing fee for the waiver? You or her?
I paid.
And okay. And how about for the motion to reopen? Did she pay the filing fee or did you?
I paid.
I'd be Lamar, I'd be willing to look at everything. I think maybe your lawyer I mean, well, actually here's what I'll say, Lamar. One thing about legal malpractice is this. This is what we always have to come back to, okay? Here's the question. Do we think this is a strong waiver case or not? That's my question.
I believe it's a strong waiver because my wife, she has the medical issues that is going on, and we've been married for 2016 December to date.
I mean, somebody must have done a good job because I think it's amazing that your I-130 got approved, to be honest. Usually when there's that, and Lamar, people talk about this with me on this show all the time. Usually when there's this mysterious former spouse back in the old country, that's very, very hard to overcome. So the fact that your I-130 got approved, that gives me a little bit of hope, right?
Okay.
But I do think this is what I'll say, Lamar. You ready?
Yes.
A motion to reopen that would have been filed by a different attorney, which at least in part said, not only am I submitting this kick-ass waiver because Lamar's wife has medical issues, but also the reason that this didn't get the reason it got denied in the first place is because the lawyer didn't do what she was supposed to do and
That's
what she got
correct.
hired to do.
That's correct.
So I'd be willing to look at it. It's a little bit stinky. It's probably, we might not want to get involved in it, but I'd be willing to look at it. I probably want to see the timeline more than anything, Lamar.
Is there any way that we can do the sue for the appeal to get to get a decision?
Well, we could talk about that, but I think what I'd rather do is file a supplement to the motion to reopen and point out if what you say is borne out by the timeline that we can prove the lawyer didn't do what they're supposed to do, then we make that part of the motion to reopen. Does that make sense?
Yes. So should we? Some of lawyer friends, like colleagues, they've been asking some lawyer, but your show I've been watching your show, and your experience is outstanding. The way you advise me, I can tell that you are, you are special. So my friends, they've been calling some lawyer, they've been asking some lawyer to see how they can assist as well. So some of them been saying we should file a new I-485.
Yeah, might want to do that too. Yeah. If nothing else, that gets you a new work card and everything.
Okay.
And you have the approved I-130.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you think you can help me with the appeal? So
I think you have to figure out if you want to throw the lawyer under the bus and if you have the goods to throw the lawyer under the bus. That's what I think. That's what I think is the most important thing, because if you hired a lawyer to file a waiver and they didn't file a waiver on time and your case got denied because the waiver wasn't filed on time, I think that's a great easy way for them to reopen the case.
Okay. All right. I'll be willing to do that.
Okay. Well, I want to see that timeline and I want to see your documents. So send them over. Tell me you were on the show today, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lamar. See you, buddy. All right. We got time for one quick more call, and we're going to go to our friend Rocio to end the show. Hi, Rocio.
Hello, Jim. How are you doing?
How's your trip?
I'm calling to tell you that, of course, you were right about coming back with a 24-month extension letter on the green card. I just did it this morning through Houston Customs. No questions asked. It was just 1 minute. And my passport is under my maiden name, and my green card and the extension are no issues whatsoever.
Awesome.
In fact, most of the people that I think were being called on to secondary had B1, B2 visas.
Mm-hmm.
I just went swiftly through it. So I felt that I needed to tell you, well, first of all, hi, because I haven't been watching the show for 15 days.
Yeah, you're on vacation.
But also, of course, you were right. No issues whatsoever.
Thanks, Rocio. Thanks for letting us know.
Adios. Now I'm going to get some rest now.
Glad you're back.
Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, tomorrow's show, 3 p.m. Central. We'll be back answering as many of your immigration law-related questions as we can. Make sure to check us out on TikTok at Immigration Hacking. If you haven't already, send the word show, text it to 314-470-3300. That way, whenever we change our schedule, you'll be the first to know. We'll be back tomorrow for episode 223 with my friend Hooli and the team. We'll see you guys tomorrow.